All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode here on the Deano Show. Good to be back with you guys for this week's episode. Happy to be back with you all. A lot of sports going on in the last couple hours, last couple days, the Olympics. So we're going to talk a lot about that this week. And then, just a sports talk show. Mets spring training. So big show, fun show. Good to be back with you all. First and foremost, shout out to the women's hockey team for taking down Canada 2-1 in overtime, bringing home the gold. That was a great game. Great game. Down 1-0 with 90 seconds left, and you tie the game in the third period, 1-1. You go to overtime, and you win. And you bring home the gold. Now, pressure's really on for the guys tomorrow, who had an unbelievable win yesterday against Sweden. Another great game. The hockey games have been unreal. They've been so good. 1-1 Sweden. The Czech-Canada game was yesterday. I was pulling so hard for the Czechs, especially as someone who lived in Czech Republic over in Prague for 5 months. Boy, did I want them to win so bad. And also just screw Canada. I just wanted my second favorite place in the world, Czech, to win. And obviously it would have been a great story. Great headline. I think they were the plus 1,000 underdog going into the game. Canada was heavily favorited. It just would have been an unbelievable upset. That Canada team is top to bottom one of the best teams ever assembled for Olympics by far. And it would have been really cool to see the Czechs take them down, but they ultimately didn't finish the job. I totally thought when they made it 2-1 they were going to win that game. That Canada team is too good. I also think that it should be 5-on-5, not 3-on-3. 3-on-3, it's great for NHL regular season and the fast-paced transitions, exciting. It is very exciting. But for an Olympic stage and one of the biggest platforms, you're going to go from 20-minute 5-on-5 straight up brawls to just 3-on-3. I've never seen a 3-on-3 overtime game go the full distance. Maybe in NHL when it's 5 minutes, but the goal is always scored within the first 10 minutes. And if it was 5-on-5, I think it'd be way more exciting. And I just think it should be I just think it should be 5-on-5, not 3-on-3. The second I went to 3-on-3, I knew the goal was coming within the first 5 minutes of the game. There's just way too much open ice. There's so many transitions. I just think it's for games going to overtime, they're fighting too hard for it to end that quickly. Maybe a hot take, but I think 5-on-5 would be way better than 3-on-3. At least in the big stage. For NHL regular season, 3-on-3 works perfect. Really wanted the Czechs to pull through, but unfortunately Canada got the upper hand there, and they're a super team of a team that is. I thought about comparing it to. It doesn't compare to Miracle level, 1980 Miracle on Ice, USA Soviets. It wasn't that big of a difference, but that Canada team is loaded top to bottom. Which, by the way, they just came out with a Miracle documentary on Netflix about the whole 1980 Miracle on Ice, and it was really good. And as someone who grew up going to Lake Placid and playing on that rink every year, that was the best thing for me as a childhood. And being a little kid playing on that same rink was one of the coolest things ever. I was like a mite, and I was so flabbergasted by, wow, I'm on the same bench as Team USA. I'm skating on the same ice as the Soviets in the USA, and that was so cool. I definitely wish I could go back in time and be that 12-year-old kid going on the massive sheet of ice. We looked like peanuts when we were on that ice, and because of how big it is, the Olympic-sized rink is enormous compared to the original and normal size rink. At least it's 10 times bigger, and you got little mites out there. They look like ants. But yeah, that was such a special time. Lake Placid is such a cool town too. Great shops, great food, and it's crazy to think that the production there is nowadays with the Olympics and everything compared to what it was in 1980 and how different it all was. It's just crazy that they did it in such a small town in Lake Placid, New York. If you've ever been there, you know what I mean. There's that one road, and that's kind of it. Once you kind of get off the main road, there's not much. And now they're in Milan, and it's a whole worldwide event. Not that it wasn't worldwide back then, but definitely not getting as much people as you were back then as you are today. So just crazy they held the Olympics in that small little town in Lake Placid, New York. But yeah, go USA. Big weekend for the boys for hockey. Hopefully they can bring home the gold. On another note, I have gotten so into curling the last, really kind of since the Olympics started. It's on every night when I'm cooking dinner, so I'm just kind of locked into curling. But at first, I kind of turned it on in the first 2 minutes. I was like, what is this? Kind of boring, kind of slow. I don't really know how the scoring works. All I know is it looks like a giant shuffleboard, and that's kind of what they're playing, except you got broomsticks with you, and you're just... That's all you're doing. But the more I've watched it, the more like strategy and the more technique I've seen and the conversations and everything, it's a really fascinating sport. It honestly might be my favorite Olympic sport in the winter. Maybe not as good as hockey, but it is so fascinating. It is so technical. They are laser focused. When they're like at the top, they got their like feet, they got their foot on like a little stand, and they just don't break eye contact with whatever it is they're aiming at, and they slowly just release the stone, and the stone just kind of like curls its way in. I gotta say, it's a lot of finesse. It's like a putt with like a 6-foot break essentially, but you got a big stone and you're on ice and you're just it's so yeah, I've gotten really into curling. It's probably my new favorite Olympic sport, and Team USA just had an unbelievable win over Switzerland. They were out of a medal contention. They were 5th or 6th, I think, in the rankings, and they had to beat Switzerland. I think it was Swiss, who I think was already in. So if we lost, we were obviously going home, but they won to get in within a top 4, and then I'm pretty sure Great Britain had to win too, which they did. So I think we have a chance at a gold, at a medal now. I'll roll the clip, but the final like throw that we had was complete class, total finesse, just eased it on in there with a game of inches. I don't really know how the scoring works, how the rulings work, and like when our stone hits their stone, they can start like brushing the ice in the bulls. I don't know all the logistics. I'm so new to the sport, but I'm really into it. So maybe that's what makes it so fun. I have no idea what's going on, but all I hear is the screaming when they let go, like Carl, Carl, and then like when it's in the other language, we're like, I don't know, fuck was that? I don't know what they're saying. But yeah, curling's my new favorite sport, and I definitely recommend tuning in. It's really exciting, really, really exciting. So I touched on this a little bit ago, but dude, yeah, I miss hockey, and I'm only four, and I only played it for kind of the first beginning part of my life. I can't imagine what these professional athletes go through who are playing these sports their entire lives, even like to Olympians who play until their late 30s, late 40s or whatever, and then you retire and it's like, holy crap, who am I? You know, they have that kind of identity crisis where they've been playing a sport and then they abruptly stop, and like I said, their identity is just totally taken away from them. You're used to being with a team, traveling, practicing your sport, getting better at your sport. And when that's all taken away from you, it's like, how do I spend my time now? And yeah, I feel that now. It's like, wow, I wish like I could still compete at a level. Get on the ice, put on a uniform and compete. I mean, played club golf in college, played club soccer, picked that up senior year of college. So that was all fun. But yeah, definitely competitive. I miss the competitive grind. You could say I've been searching for that, searching to look for where I can be more competitive, how to get more competitive and put myself in situations where, you know, I still got to be gritty, got to fight for the puck in the corner and do all that stuff. Another amazing storyline in which you are a golfer, you probably have saw, but Anthony Kim with an incredible comeback story gets his win on Live this past Sunday over in Australia. Truly just remarkable story. I'll give you a little background on Anthony Kim, but USA player, was a great, kind of came out of nowhere, early 2000s, like 2006. He first kind of entered the PGA Tour scene. I think he got like 3 wins right off the bat. Played for the 2008 USA Ryder Cup team. Played for the 2009 President's Cup team. Tiger was like, yeah, this guy's got it. Can hit a shot shape at any moment. Great game. Great player. Like, everyone was kind of like, who is this guy? And then I think he tore his Achilles, which was his first injury. In like the late 2000s, like 2009 or 10 or whenever it was, maybe 11 or 12. And then everything just kind of started going downhill from there. He got hurt, and then he started taking drugs, was like taking drugs on the course, was like taking crazy bathroom breaks. And fun fact, he has the most birdies in a round at Augusta. 11 birdies. That's held by Anthony Kim. So guy can definitely play the game of golf. Natural talent. Yeah, eventually he started getting into abusing drugs, started going to rehab, and took a 8 to 12 year hiatus away from the game of golf for a while. It just didn't compete didn't play the game really, maybe practiced here and there, but really kind of went away from the game, and then got married, had a kid, started getting, started going in the right direction again. In 2024, got re-signed to LIV, but due to low scores, just not playing good golf, they pretty much took his LIV card away. Came back this past year, 25-26 season, and this past Sunday just beat John Rahm and Bryson DeChambeau on Sunday. I think I had 6 or 8 birdies or something. I think he had 6 birdies in his final round, but eventually won at 23 under. Just a crazy, crazy story to think about someone who could barely check himself into rehab, took a 10-year hiatus away from golf to come back to win on the second biggest stage in golf. Just kind of shows you can do anything you put your mind to, regardless of what situation you're in. Definitely inspired me, definitely gave me the chills when I was hearing his post-game interview, just about how he never gave up, never lost faith in the situations he was in. He kept on believing in yourself, and you can do amazing things. Self-belief is the greatest thing in the world, and it gets you really far. So definitely an inspiring story. Definitely made me inspired to keep doing this, keep showing up for you guys. And who knows what the future has. You just got to keep on staying persistent and never give up. So that's the little inspiring story of this week's episode. I'd be interested to know who your guys' number one athlete is of all time. And the reason why I bring this up, because I remember when I was at school, we were talking just on the couch with my friends who the greatest athlete was for them and who they thought it was. I said Michael Phelps. There were some LeBron James. There were some Michael Jordan, arguably Tiger Woods, Muhammad Ali, Usain Bolt. And I think there's different ways to look at the word athleticism. Michael Phelps, freak athlete. I mean, his torso's like as long as my damn wingspan. And then, they got the back slaps. Woo. Ow. Those back slaps feel good. But yeah, he can touch his hands with one. I don't know how the hell he does that. But I said Michael Phelps, 28 medals total, 23 of them being gold, 3 silver, 2 bronze. I mean, complete dominant swimmer. And it's swimming of all things. One of the hardest sports to, 1, be very fast in, but 2, just be conditioned in. You are using every muscle in your body and just you're nonstop. They're fish. They're fish in the water. So in terms of, if you talk records and achievements, Tiger, however many PGA, I think he has 80-something PGA victories. Messi, Ballon d'Ors, just got a World Cup. So, there's so many different ways to go about who's the greatest athlete of all time. Michael Jordan, 6 for 6 in the NBA Finals. And then you have the LeBron James case, where total freak athlete, amazing build, amazing body, can jump so far, is very fast and quick. And if you were to put, where it kind of got a little tricky for me in the Phelps argument was my buddy said, well, if you put LeBron James in an NFL game, he would do a lot better than if you put Michael Phelps in an NFL game, because of and the argument was due to athleticism and the way they can move their body, how fast and whatnot. So there's different ways to kind of go about it, but I just think, I don't know, it's such a hard question. Even you look at Novak Djokovic, who's still competing at the highest level in tennis at 38 years old against Sinner and Alcaraz, who they were 2 and 3 years old when he was a rookie, and now he's playing against them now. That's 18 years later. And he's playing matches that are 5 hours long, non-stop moving. You're getting breaks, water break to get some electrolytes, but I mean, even LeBron being 42 years old or 41, playing in the NBA to this day is still crazy when what he's doing and dunking and whatnot. So there's so many different ways. Deion Sanders, Bo Jackson, Usain Bolt. I mean, how fast can that guy run? 27 miles an hour. So I don't know. I'd be interested to know who your guys' favorite athlete is. Or who in your mind is the greatest athlete of all time. I'm going to stick with my answer. I'm going to go with Michael Phelps due to 1, 23 gold medals, 2, just pure athleticism and swimming, nonstop, just completely using every muscle in your body, and great golfer too. So yeah, but that's my take. Give me your take in the comments down below. Baseball's coming around the corner. New York Mets spring training. Look, dude, the New York Mets, and I'm a huge Mets fan, by the way, have totally shaken up their core. Got rid of McNeil, got rid of Alonso, got rid of Nimmo, who they were pretty much 3 of our core members, and got rid of Edwin Diaz. It's a totally different look. I mean, we still got Lindor, who now is like the leader and the captain of the team, even though, which I thought was kind of weird, Steve Cohen came out the other day and was like, as long as I'm the owner of the team, there will never be team captains, which he's the owner, so he can do what he wants. But I just thought that was a little like weird and whatnot. I don't know. I think Lindor would be a great captain, Mr. Smiles, even though him and McNeil used to fight each other in the dugout every now and then and lie that there was a squirrel or a raccoon or whatever it was, which caused a bunch of commotion in the dugout, or it was just them fighting each other. So, but yeah, back to the Mets. It's a totally different lineup. I mean, you still got Beatty, Vientos, the pitching added, even though we added Freddie Peralta, added Luke Weaver. Like, there's different bits and pieces. Luis Robert Jr., Jorge Polanco, Bo Bichette. I think our infield's really good. The outfield's good. We just moved Soto to left. It's just going to be an interesting group. I'm excited for this season. I think like early power rankings had us at 5, which, means nothing. But this is kind of the best time of the year in terms of sports. You got baseball starting up next month or in a month and a half or so. Golf is just getting underway. The Masters is the first major, which is in, February 19th. So the Masters is coming up first week in April. March Madness is coming up. All the playoffs are going to be leading up to the next couple of months. We got the Olympics, which is finishing right now, but then you got the World Cup in the summer. Then you got fall baseball and the playoff baseball followed by that. So it's a good time of year to be a sports fan, at least. A lot of good sports. College basketball, even though I couldn't tell you a thing about college basketball. I've been so out of touch with college basketball and what's going on in that world. But yeah, man. Yeah, kind of just a sports episode this week. I'm working on getting guests on the show. I'm trying to figure out logistics. So bear with me. I promise I will have a guest on the show next week. And started filming the Culinary Works documentary last Saturday night, which was a lot of fun, so stay on the lookout for that. Yeah, that's kind of all I got for this week's episode of the Deano Show. Enjoy your weekend, smile, be positive, light up this world, and keep on doing you. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button. I will see you later. Peace out.